Hi, Armoured Pants here, and I have another review for you in the French line. This is the Tier 60 AMX 12T, and as always, we have a complete guide starting with the tech spec in blitzhanger.com, a great asset for all blitzers. Now, I have to say, I really like this tank. I think it is a great light tank, and it plays typically like a light tank. So, therefore, if you haven't watched the light tank guide on channel, please do so. It will help you a lot in playing this type of tank. This tank has 75mm gun. The gun is pretty good. It has good pen for tier 6, very reliable, so I like it. But just one thing to note, it is an auto loader, so unlike the AMX before it, which is a single shot, this is an auto loader. So you have 3 shells in the magazine. There's a 2-second reload on each shell. We will use supercharge and refine gun to maximize penetration, maximize muzzle velocity. On the magazine itself though, it's a very long reload. It's 15.4 second magazine reload, so you need to be aware of that and need to count your shells. Be aware of how many shells are in your magazine. For example, you do not want to get into a brawl but with just 1 shell in the magazine. Now, as we've said before, with auto loaders, when we're looking at the lighter tiers, you can tap on the shell icon to automatically reload even if you only have fired 1 or 2 shells. One thing to notice about this is that the tank is very fast, of course, but it also has a full 360-degree turret, which unlike the AMX before it, so therefore that's like an upgrade as you move up the tiers. Looking at the armor, it has no armor, right? Absolutely, just forget about it. You're going to get penned by everything. You're going to be a HE magnet, and people are going to fire HE at you all day long because they know they're going to pen, and anything with a big gun is going to eat you for breakfast. When you're playing in tier 6, of course, with this tank, you are going to come up against KV2s. KV2 can one-shot you with a HE round, so you need to be careful out there. If you're up tiered, something like an ISU, something like that, is going to one-shot you all day long. And even in your own tier, besides the KV2, you have the SU100Y, for example, that can also one-shot you. Now, if you look at the external module, you'll see the tracks are exposed, so run 2 repair kits because you do not want to get caught out in the open in this tank getting perma-tracked when you have no armor and there are HE monsters out there ready to gobble you straight up. You can see their front on, sideways, whatever, no armor. The tactics in this tank, well, I mean, as we discussed before with light tanks, and we've reviewed quite a few light tanks on this channel now, the main tactic I would say is this is an ambush tank. You spot, you scout, you find the enemy, and then you ambush. You come in from the sides and from behind. This is not a front-on tank. If you are coming front-on to the enemy in this tank, you are doing it wrong. You need to be coming in at the sides and the back. Therefore, you need to spot, find the enemy, and then you need to use the speed of the tank to get around the map and get in behind them. And if you're playing Supremacy, of course, you should be capturing bases, getting around the map, using that speed and agility to capture bases. In the game we're going to have a look at, you will see all of this in action. So first thing I do is I check the setup. I now see that we have one more med or light tank, fast movers as I always refer to them in my head when I'm looking at the setup. So we've got one more, so therefore I say let's go to C. We should have a weight of numbers there. And I tell the team here, as you can see, I'm terrible at typing on the keyboard of my phone, and I always play on my phone. I don't play on anything else, and it's pretty. I even decided not even to bother with extra there. I'm not sure if they understood that sort of half garbage message I put up, but nonetheless. So we're going to see now. Now, if you remember from the light tank guide that we have on channel, the key to playing a light tank is spotting the enemy, not just for you, just keep your survival rate up, but also for your teammates. And here we go. This is spotting 101. Look at this. Ping, 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 ping. We just ping them all. Already have the purple ribbon for spotting up. We spotted up for the enemy already, and that is a light tank's roll. For my trouble, I get 1 up the bum, but we can live with that. It's a low alpha roll, so we can live with that. Put 1 into the enemy here, and you can see 2-second reload. Miss 1 shot there. I don't really know what I was trying to do there. I forgot that the tank has almost no gun depression whatsoever. By the way, you'll also miss a lot of shots in this tank because of the lack of gun depression, and also because the tank is moving so quickly. You get bounces on the gun elevation when you're moving fast, and you will see that you'll miss some shots when you think you have it aimed. You hit a bump or in the terrain, and the barrel just moves and you miss completely. So just be aware of that. Now, this is what I said about this tank. This is what you want to be doing. You want to be firing into the sides of tanks and into the back. You do not want to be going front on. If you're going front on, you're doing something wrong. Now, this is a very precarious situation. I'm in a tank with no armour, and there's a lot of tanks around me, but I'm confident in the agility of this tank, in its movement, that I can get in and out of trouble. So again, I am playing to the strengths of this tank. I am not trying to go full on front on onto those tanks. I'm coming up behind them, and that's what you do in this tank. This tank is an ambush tank, so coming up behind. And I'm not waiting around to give that Panther another round on me. No, I just ambush, put a round into him behind, distract him. I stopped him pushing onto my allies. And now I have an isolated target here, and here we go. Now, well, look at this. Just slow this down here. This is one of the things to note about this tank, and this again is why you need to run 2 repair kits. I tracked myself there, just with the sheer speed of the tank and tried to get into position behind the KV2. But I was able to repair myself, move on, and now I'm in a nice circle death situation. And this KV2 hasn't a hope against the AMX like this in this position. He is never going to be able to outmaneuver me, never going to be able to get a shot on me if I move. Keep an eye on his gun. As we've said before, there are lots of people who give you lots of different rules about brawling or circling of death or face-hugging tanks. Very simple rule. I said all you have to do is just watch their gun, keep their gun pointing away from you, and it doesn't matter. There's nothing else you need to do. If their gun is pointing away from you, they can't do any damage to you, they can't get a shot on you, and you're going to kill them. It's simple. It's the only thing you have to worry about. So it's the only skill you need. Watch their gun, make sure it's not pointing at you. That's it. As long as it's pointing in a different direction, you're going to be fine. You see what I mean there about the gun elevation on this tank and the gun depression. Every move you make in the tank moves the gun, and you can move from a situation where you have a clean shot to having a miss or no line of fire very easily. This poor Panther here is the guy we came up on earlier. He is not having a good day at the office. You can see we ambushed him earlier, and then we ambushed him again there, came up around the sides of him. Here you can see me tapping the shell icon as we discussed to get the full auto reload. Lucky bounce there. You will get some bounces in this tank when you're moving around, because the speed of the tank means that you are always challenging the aiming time of the enemy. But any bounce you get, you should consider as a piece of luck. You should not play this tank in the hope of getting bounces, because otherwise you will be very disappointed. Now, we're in a light tank, and as we discussed, one of the things you should do in a light tank is cap in supremacy, particularly in the mid to the end game. And we're in the middle of the game here, and that's what I'm doing. I'm capping for my team. And just as well I cap B, because now we're losing A. But we're not so worried about that, because we're going to come in and we're going to clear this guy. Now I want to make sure his gun is facing away from me while I reload. Now you can see I probably should have penned there, I'm not really sure, just a bit of RNG, but let's not worry. And now I am going on a full reload because there's 2 tanks left. I want to see if we can clear those, but let's cap the base first, just to make sure it's good, solid supremacy play. Cap the base while you can, help out the SU, make sure we cap as quickly as possible. Now we can move off. We've got 2 tanks left, so it's 3v2 situation, plus we have points on our side, so good solid supremacy play. And as we've discussed before as well on channel, so many times people forget to cap when they're playing supremacy. And supremacy is about capturing bases, right? It's not about damaging or clearing tanks. That is part of it, but its main thing is capturing bases and getting points. Now there you go, you saw full mag unloaded into this AMX. Really nice alpha rolls, they're increasing each time, and I'm getting nearly a 200 alpha roll on the last one. So really nice full mag of damage into him, leave him a 1-shot for my allies, and he's cleared off. Nice easy kill for the SU. And I think that was pretty much a great game in this tank, because it shows its key strengths at play. Mastery badge delivered as well. Almost 2.6k damage, 2 kills, and a lot of XP for capturing the bases. So, you know, it showed the key skills of this tank and how to play it. Moving off quickly, spotting up the enemy, scouting out bases as I did on C. Spot out the enemy, good for me, good for the my allies. Moving around the map, using the speed of the tank to get into positions where you can ambush, be sneaky, come in from behind and the side. Circle of death as I did in the KV2. Using those 2 repair kits so that we make sure we don't get perma-tracked, because that is really not what you want to happen, especially against the KV2. He will one-shot you if he gets one shot onto you, and he's going to pen you with that HE. Doesn't matter where he hits you with it. So really make sure you have those repair kits loaded up, because you're going to need them, because the tracks are exposed, as we discussed when we looked at the tech spec. So with all that said, let's have a quick recap of the key points of this fantastic light tank. And it is a fantastic light tank, and typical light tank tactics come into play. As I said, if you haven't done so already, please look at the light tank guide, which we have on channel, because the key tactics and the role of you should play in the game are highlighted there. It's a super fast tank, beautifully agile, moves around the map really well, as you saw there. There's no map that doesn't suit it. It's perfect for spotting. Scouting badges will come your way in abundance if you play this tank well. Ambush tactics, never go front on in this tank. You are doing it all wrong if you end up in that situation, from behind and from the sides. The autoloader is very effective, but the pen is low front on in this, so you need to come in from the sides. Another reason for ambush tactics. Circle death master, as we saw. Make sure you're on a full reload before you go in, so count your shells. Don't get caught short. You don't want to get into a circle death situation with 1 shell in the magazine. Keep moving. Stopping is dropping. You will get some bounces by moving, because you're so fast. You present a very difficult target. So all that's left for me to say is cheers, Mush. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. And I guess pants off.